Well, it's been a very active couple of days here in the ag marketplace, especially yesterday with that huge hit to the soybean markets. We're taking a look at now the Tuesday closing market summary, visiting with Jason Meyer of agmarket.net. And Jason, how did the grain markets fare today?
A lot better than they did yesterday. And I would say, in honor of St. Patty's Day, they decided they wanted to show a little green on the screen here. So corn finished up fractionally, and beans had a nice little rebound off their limit move down yesterday.
So, with the news yesterday that we were reacting to of that meeting between President Trump and then President Xi out of China potentially getting delayed, do we think that'll be mostly factored in at this point, or do we think that any other updates could, I mean, say that meeting happens earlier or when it was planned, could we see that swing back up?
Yeah, and today we had confirmation that Trump wants to delay that meeting, but still have that meeting. So the marketplace is hoping in maybe 5 to 6 weeks that that meeting will occur. I think the Chinese are very understanding with Trump and the idea that Trump is focusing on the war with Iran right now. That's his main priority. But if we do push the meeting with China back 5 to 6 weeks, the time frame for the U.S. to potentially ship another 8 million tons of soybeans, that opportunity really goes away as the South Americans continue with their harvest. Brazil's north of 50% already, so they're going to be looking to get rid of their beans, and hopefully the Brazilians will go to China. Is their thought process, and if that happens, the chances for the U.S. to sell any more beans in the nearby here to China looks pretty small.
And then, like you mentioned, with that war in Iran, and then we also have the issues in the Strait of Hormuz. I know those are things that are a really big impact on, say, fertilizer prices and then the crude oil markets. How are we expecting that to continue to impact the grains specifically?
I think the further we go away from the conflict, uh, the movement and the energies will kind of be muted on the grain side. The grain side will maybe just start to trade their own fundamentals here. But in their near term, with some turmoil over there, energy prices are going to be elevated. And obviously, fertilizer is derived from energy sources. So that look for energy to stay high, fertilizer prices to stay relatively high as well until the conflict settles down here.
Then over on the livestock markets, Jason, yesterday we saw that strike at the JBS plant in Colorado start as it was planned. Looked like that was mostly factored into the markets already, though. How did the livestock do today?
Yeah, the market has kind of seemed to fade that news in Greeley here, and surprisingly, the cattle had another nice day in both the fats and the feeders here, so that was nice to see. We're hearing some maybe cash trade a little higher than last week. Cutout values were much better than what they were last year or last week. So, despite all the volatility with energy, there's still demand for beef in the marketplace, and I think that's fantastic for the cattle guys. And then on the hogs, it feels like we've maybe bottomed here over the last 3, 4 sessions. Here, we're finding some good support, and maybe technically we found that bottom, and with cattle going up every day, maybe that'll bring the hogs up with it as well here.
And in general, with that livestock market, when we see the grains move like that, usually a pretty big reaction to the livestock as well. But uh, with that strike going on with the grains, it feels like maybe the grain markets are they having more of an impact on those livestock prices?
It feels like that is definitely the case when you see what the corn and soybean markets did yesterday. Uh, there's definitely an inverse relationship between the meat sector and the grain sector. Obviously, if corn price, soy meal prices going down, that's going to be friendly the livestock sector over the long haul.
All right, Jason, lots of great information today. For anyone who would like to get in touch with agmarket.net to learn more, how can they do that?
The best way is just go to our website, eggmarket.net, and then click on one of our profiles, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you if you reach out to us.
All right, Jason, thanks again for your time as always, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Riley. Everybody have a great day now.